action. So when you start looking at those decisions and now taking away legal status from people, and you look at clips from Homan being on the news stating that, yes, you can go to Home Depot. Yes, you can target people by speaking a different language, by speaking with an accent. It's very difficult not to say that these decisions are racially motivated.
Can I ask you what happens to people, or maybe what happened to you, being on the inside of a system like this, seeing something that does not feel like justice, and knowing that you've played a part in it, you've been in there, that was your workplace. Does it harm you? What does it do to people when they do come out, when they quit, or when they're pushed out of a place like this?
I think it's a moral conflict, a battle within yourself, because you are told on the one hand, we all take oaths, right? Like when we step into that job, we're taking an oath to protect the Constitution and to follow the rule of law. And then when you get into that space and you're looking at these decisions that are being made and the way that they're being made, people are being harmed, people are dying in ICE detention, in custody. And you have this conflict with yourself. If these laws cannot be right, and I don't want to enforce it anymore. And so it was a struggle to separate from that identity. I'm no longer Veronica, the Assistant Chief Counsel, and I wanted to leave and create something that would help the people that are going through that system by the things that I saw, the gaps that I saw, because change is not coming from the inside. Change is coming from pressure on the outside.
I don't want to make it sound like a general statement, but those that are currently serving in the positions that you once occupied, what does that say about them today, these people that are going along with, you know, arguably very abusive tactics, very inhumane tactics in our immigration system? I mean, you know, I'm sure you still know people on the inside. Are there people on the inside who are still conflicted? And why are we not seeing kind of large mass resignations in protest?
Right, and that's an interesting fact. I have been contacted by people on the inside stating, how did you leave? What process did that take? Because there are a lot of people that are unhappy. Morale is very low. Even at the time that I left, when I left, people were, number one, surprised, because when you join the government, people believe that there's this trajectory to it. And so when you leave not to be in the government, to do something totally different, it does catch people off guard. So I think people are going through that struggle. And what I would say to people in that position is that your voice has so much power. You don't have to do things that you feel are unjust or wrong. Believe in yourself, step out of that, and stand up for what you believe in. I think America as a whole is going through this moral conflict right now. And so it's going to take all of us, the whole community, to really stand up for what we believe in.
We had a woman on yesterday, Laura Mukherjee, who represents and works with a family, or a number of people, but representing a young child with cancer who just got out of a detention center in Texas, and who she described as now living day to day, even though they're finally out and with their family, in trauma, unable to sort of forget what just happened and the fear of being detained again. For people who are hearing these stories and who are feeling helpless right now, do you know what people can do to reach out to offer support, pro bono legal help to children, adults, families who are actively going through all of this right now?
I think that there are a lot of organizations that do help, and looking to see, the ACLU is a big one, and they're really at the forefront of challenging these laws so that people, like, for example, special immigrant juveniles, the children do need protection, and they're challenging those types of decisions to not take away deferred action. So donate to where you can donate. I always suggest go to an immigration court hearing and see for yourself, because I feel like another thing is that a lot of people don't know what the truth is, right?
And that they're allowed to observe these proceedings.
Right, and that they're allowed to observe these proceedings, because you hear the truth from, or you hear a narrative from the administration, how they're after violent criminals, they're not targeting Latinos. But then when you look at the statistics, when you're sitting in immigration court, the truth is very different.
Veronica, we really appreciate you sharing your story and your insights with us, and I applaud you for your courage in speaking out. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Up next, Trump brings up an old controversy about what he calls the, quote, Washington